For landlords, by landlords. The Rent Perfect Podcast with David Pickron.
Well, hello. David Pickron here. Hey, I couldn't get Trump, Scott. I couldn't get him.
No?
No, he was going on all these podcasts. I mean, I'm like Joe Rogan.
Come
Come
yeah.
on. I mean,
We only wanted 30 minutes, not 3 hours.
Jeez, ew. Hey, listen, elections were last night.
It's November 6th.
It is November 6th, and I really don't want to get political because I get all sides, and I get that. And I'm just in the, I don't know, I'm in the business of just protecting people with their real estate investments. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure there are people on both sides that use Rent Perfect. And so I'm kind of wading into something that's making me a little bit nervous because I'm not here to offend.
Sure.
Take one side or the other. I just want to talk about real estate and the market. And I don't think you can do that if you don't talk about what's happening in the country.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
Of course.
You've got to talk about the lay of the land and look at those opportunities and find those opportunities if you're going to be a successful investor, right? I mean, the reality is last night, on Fox News, Mr. Wonderful, who's made all this money, and they had him on there just talking about, now, how are the investors feeling?
Yeah.
How are, he's like, hey, I'm heading back to Dubai tomorrow. We've got billions of dollars of people who want to spend in America now that Trump is president. And so we have to then, whether you like him or not, we have to look at what's coming in America for the next 4 years. And we've had a little bit of glimpse of him, 4 years ago for 4 years. And so I just want to stay there. Please forgive me if I step on anybody's toes.
But the policies do affect us.
They do.
Right? Whether we
do.
like that party or not, the policies do affect us.
They do. And I will tell you right now, I voted for policy last night. I didn't vote for either candidate.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, neither candidate really got me excited.
So you were the one write-in that was for policy.
For policy. I'm voting for policy. Yeah. No. But I don't care the name. If you give me certain policies, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm
name,
for that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But do what you say and let's get it done.
Yeah.
So I want to just analyze where I had a plan A and I had a plan B because I didn't know who was going to go, right? Now, in one plan, I had to look at words like companies are price gouging. I'm going to control their pricing. Well, I know in a fair market system, you cannot do that, right?
Right.
Because they're trying to do it with us. I also hear, fixing the rent, right? And making sure that people can afford it and
not what the market will bear, but what we tell you you can charge, which is scary.
And they've tried rent controls in a lot of places, and they've showed that they've been a complete failure, and they've actually worked against people. But it's these buzzwords that they just put out there, and I don't know on a federal level they could ever get it done unless they had all three branches. Yeah. But it scares me. What are you willing to do, and what are you willing to talk about? Yeah. So I will tell you. There was a plan B for me if she got in, and that was I'm just going to sit here and hold and do nothing. I'm just going to watch and see how much of this comes to fruition. If you're a landlord out there listening, we're already under attack by these local regulations, these states and cities who just want to, demonize us and take everything away from us. If this goes on a federal end, then even your conservative states where investing is still good, if we're investing outside of our states into these certain areas, it's going to take that away. So, but what do we know about Trump? What do we know about him?
I mean, this guy's made his fortune in real estate.
He is one of us.
Right. So he understands. He's an investor.
Right.
Yeah.
Little arrogant, but pretty successful.
He's the best investor
He's the best ever been.
He's never made a bad investment. Every investment is golden. Yes.
Right. But, man, I'm in this field, and it makes me more comfortable knowing that somebody is in the same field and they're not going to do anything to screw it up.
Yeah. Right? And they have experience, right? Not that, and any party you could go, a lot of these career politicians, you're like, they make decisions for us that they've never run a business. They've never, they've been doing politics their whole life. They've never had to do a small business, never had to do payroll, never had to, figure out benefits for their employees. But you make the rules, which is we see it backfire quite often.
Absolutely. Now you have one house up for sale that
I've got a resort condo. It's a great property, and we listed it about maybe the first or second week of October. We've had a ton of activity on it.
Okay.
Right? Tons of showings, and no buyer. And so I talked to my agent Monday of this week, so just a couple days ago, and I said, "Where are we at?" And her response was, "We've had all these showings. No one wants to pull the trigger until after November 5th. Once the election's done, everybody was just kind of hedging to see like what's going to happen, right? So even the buyers for a property I'm trying to offload because I'm getting another property, they're hesitant too. So I was a little hesitant putting it back on the market just because I knew kind of the climate that we're in, but yeah.
So I'm going to follow up with you on that because it'd be interesting to see because I think with a Trump victory, there is a lot better consumer confidence in the investing world, in the world I'm in.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that don't have confidence in Trump, but in the investing world, in the purchasing property world, now think about this. When that person buys your home, they might be selling their home, right?
Yeah.
Which is another property on the market. We want people moving. We want people changing homes. We want a lot of activity on there. It's no different than the dollar bill. A dollar bill in someone's bank account is doing nothing for the economy. But when it changes hands 5 times, gets taxed 5 different times, that's when our economy is rocking, when people are spending. We always say save, 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 but the reality is we flourish when we spend as a society. And so if we can get that consumer confidence up and people can say, okay, with Trump, the stock market's going to be better, which, by the way, today took a big hit. Went way up. Big jump. I think we're going to start seeing this consumer confidence, and then people are going to start saying, okay, I can go buy that second house. I can go buy that rental. I can go do this. I can take money out. I can, and so for me, guys, I think 2025 now is going to be amazing. Now, does this country have problems? Yes. Is it going to take a while to fix? Yes.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're just moving the right direction, there is a ton of money to be made. And so I'm super excited about 2025. I will tell you, I'll ride the rest of the year out, kind of just being a little bit cautious, see how kind of into January, the inauguration, and go there. But I'm just saving up my little marbles and getting ready to really get back in the game and make it fun for me again. Because quite frankly, since COVID, and as I travel around to a lot of these real estate investment associations, these RIAs, I mean, there's just kind of this it's just not as good as it used to be feeling. And I'm ready for it to be as good as it used to be. So anyways, there it is. There's the political investment podcast that I'm tiptoeing through.
We didn't offend anyone, I promise you.
I hope not. Yeah. If I did, just let me have it. It's really not meant to. This is an investment type of podcast, and you want to hear how I really feel and what I really think. And no matter what side you're on, this environment's coming up. It's going to be great for everybody. And until next time, continue to rent perfect.